Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's me again, and I've done, I think, 2 videos only on Record of Ragnarok, and both videos have done relatively well for my channel, but upon doing both videos, I was able to see the vast amount of love and praise for the fight Adam versus Zeus. Now, usually the vast amount of love for that fight is because of Adam's character, and my personal favorite character in the series so far is easily Jack the Ripper, and the fight he participated in was also a banger, but in this video, I wanted to examine the actual conflict between Adam versus Zeus, and what made it so memorable and a fan favorite right from the get-go. And so I truly believe that Adam versus Zeus, or Jack the Ripper versus Heracles, I thought it was Hercules, but that's my bad, was probably the fight that got most people hooked into the series. However, before we get into that, let me know who your favorite Record of Ragnarok character is, and who you look forward to seeing next in the comment section below. Also, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications, that way you don't miss a video, and without further ado, cue the intro. Context is a bit important as to why this fight had such an impact, and well, context in general is essential when talking about the outcome of a situation, period. So to give a quick run through of what's happened while I show this beautiful cover art for the chapter, is essentially there's this tournament between mankind and the gods to decide the fate of humanity. The first fight has already happened between Lubu and Thor, and spoiler alert, I'll give you 3 seconds to leave. Lubu loses in glorious fashion. So 1-0 to the gods. Humanity is losing, and to gain the upper hand, the Dawn King of this story wants to whip out the Mike Tyson. And so here we are with humanity sending out its trump card early to swing momentum. Now, I didn't really notice this at the time, but I did when rereading the fight to get a better idea for this video, and that's Adam's introduction is an entire chapter. They gave this man a whole WWE intro like if he was CM Punk returning. This adds a level of build-up and hype as he set up as humanity's ultimate hope. And this is like entertainment business 101. You want to build up to 2 fighters and give them this huge look of personality, therefore more people are interested in investing in seeing the outcome of the fight. And so here you have it, the one who's gonna stick it to the gods, the first man created in God's image. Our great so
much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Great-great-granddad is stepping up to the plate. Before the fight even begins, we're already given an idea and a hype for Adam. The level of expectation for his character is extremely high, and I think that's really good to set a standard for a fight that will hopefully live up to the expectations. And so with our first fighter introduced, now all we need is the person he's going to be fighting against. Now originally it was going to be Shiva, but he is instantly put into submission by Zeus in one of the most hilarious and savage ways ever by just repeating, "It's my turn now." And so who would have originally have been Adam's fighter is now replaced by the most powerful of all the gods. I definitely think it really helps with the kind of cultural ideal we have of Zeus, especially based on the video games like God of War, where Zeus is usually presented as the most powerful god, period. Well, at least amongst Greek mythology, but going back to a little bit of the context, at the very beginning of the manga, Zeus is seen and is portrayed as the one who kind of decides what goes within and amongst all the gods. So now you have humanity's ultimate hope versus the most powerful of all the gods. And also when Zeus steps in, he's also given this huge immense intro, and again the Dawn King of humanity, well, she's not too happy about what's about to go down. In fact, she seems very frustrated that Zeus has stepped in instead, and has kind of seemed to foil her plans. As I kind of brought up in my video discussing how to set up the perfect antagonist, one of the methods in which you build up the antagonist is by having points of reference from other characters. All of the other characters in Record of Ragnarok have a reverence towards Zeus. You can tell it by the audience reaction, as well as the way all the other gods behave around him and speak about Zeus. And well, as I brought up earlier, Zeus just kinda shoulder tapped Shiva and told him to sit like if he was a dog. And last time I checked, you just don't casually do that to a god of destruction, period. The context has been set, and the 2 fighters have now been introduced. Humanity's ultimate hope versus Zeus, or better known as GFOC. And so having this tournament format, I find it very impressive how they were able to build up Zeus to be such a terrifying foe in such a short amount of time, and also his shape-shifting ability helps with that, but it's not like the confrontation between Goku and Frieza on Planet Namek that had an entire arc worth of build-up. And so Goku versus Frieza would honestly be a prime example of how to write a fight, but I decided to go with more of a modern example, and also just to give this manga some more praise and recognition as it deserves. Now this will definitely be one of the major parts of the video, considering that the unpredictability of the fight itself is what truly made it such a memorable confrontation. First of all, let's start with the appearances of the two characters when we're first introduced to them. Now Adam's appearance does not change throughout the fight, in fact he stays the same, but as is stated within the manga, Adam doesn't look like this big intimidating man. In fact, it kind of looks like he never went through puberty, but considering Cain and Abel and Eve are present in the audience, well, I guess, touche, Adam. And what we see due to Adam's appearance is the disrespect coming from the gods, or at least the side of the gods, that seem to underestimate him right from the start. Everyone kind of seems to underestimate him a little bit. And then on the other side, we have Zeus, who despite all of the praise and heap and him again turning Shiva into a little barking chihuahua, I'm never gonna get over that because that was hilarious, Zeus looks like a senile, crippled old man, until he proceeds to shapeshift into a Goliath of a giant. And so even before getting into the fight, again, just basing it off of the appearance, the surface level thing that we can see whilst reading the manga, despite this being Adam versus Zeus, this really does come off as a David versus Goliath scenario. But I think what truly helped add another hint and a bit more flavor to the fight was the fact that everybody got Adam wrong in Record of Ragnarok. Based off of the backstory we're given and kind of what's said about Adam at the beginning, we're led to believe that he has this hatred and this vendetta against the gods, that he's solely being driven off of revenge. Zeus then reaffirms this to Adam, and this is when Adam basically says to Zeus, "This isn't about revenge, but if not, is there any man that needs a reason to protect his own children?" Now, I'm pretty sure 99.99% of us that read that instantly fell in love with Adam's character, because now he's made it very apparent that he's not doing this for his own selfish reasons, but he's fighting for us, for humanity. I mean, despite him kind of getting us into the pickle we're in currently, that's besides the point. But truly, on every single level that you can imagine, what we expected of these two characters is completely shattered. As in the fight, we were expecting a different tone of momentum, but it starts off with Adam brutally dominating, and everything Zeus throws at Adam, Adam's able to throw back harder. Again, thankfully to the Knuckle Duster and the Eyes of the Lord, which by far is the coolest ability in Record of Ragnarok, although I'm not sure if there were any other abilities that we've seen in Record of Ragnarok besides the divine weapons and whatnot. But throughout this entire fight, there's constantly this feeling of entertainment, of having you on your heels and on your toes, despite Adam again brutally dominating the beginning of this fight, because Zeus just keeps on escalating and escalating and escalating, but no matter how much Zeus tries to escalate, he keeps on getting eels. I hope somebody gets that reference. Anyways, the first half of this fight basically ends with Zeus on the floor passed out apparently, and Adam standing there victorious as everybody is in shock and awe about what is going on. Even Odin seems to be a little bit worried, and Loki as well, acting a little bit more sus than he was in Avengers. But the unpredictability of what we've had in the fight so far has been absolutely tremendous, with Adam literally being able to throw back anything Zeus throws at him. And with all of the dynamic different poses we see throughout the fight, this was truly already a fight for the books in that first half. But sadly, it does not end there, and now we move on to... Just when you thought this fight couldn't get even more epic, Zeus whips out his final form. And I must say, I do like the aesthetic and the look of this final form. I think it is really, really cool and also pretty intimidating despite it not being as big as his original one. And so now the true fight begins, with Adam and Zeus trading blow for blow, constantly moving around, dodging, until then we see something happen. And that's the Eyes of the Lord start to fail Adam. He can't constantly use them, but the thing is as he's using the Eyes of the Lord, he's using them on moves that should technically be one-hit kills for anybody else. So he's overexhausting his eyes, which in turn will eventually lead to his downfall. For the second half of this fight is nothing but a brutal slugfest, seeing who will drop and give out first. As Loki puts it, it's like you're filling up two glasses all the way to the brim. Let's see which glass spills first. And as the fight continues, and from what it looks like, Adam spills first, until he then proceeds to grab Zeus by the hair and proceed to continue the slugfest. I'm being completely honest with you all when I say this. There have been very few moments where I have been reading something and I have felt as anxious to see the results of it than when reading this fight. The way they have built it up to this moment and the way they are building it up in the second half is let's see who falls and drops first. And as you can imagine, all of us want Adam to win. We're cheering on Adam. All of humanity, even in Record of Ragnarok, is cheering on Adam. And then there we have it. Zeus drops to his knees. But just as when you think there might be the chance that Adam won, Zeus says it's all over. Adam was dead a while ago, but he kept swinging. Having Adam lose this fight, I think, is actually what adds a good amount of emotional value to it, as we all wanted Adam to win. We were all hoping for Adam to win, but I think in that sense and in that desire of us wanting Adam to win so badly, part of us, and honestly part of me, thought, yeah, he's not gonna win this just cause we can't have happy endings. And so with all of the buildup that we had, with the introduction we had to his character, Adam goes out literally swinging for the fences, truly leaving his mark as a character and record of Ragnarok, giving humanity hope to continue within the tournament. And so despite losing, Adam's original purpose for participating in the fight worked regardless. He gave humanity a sense of urgency, a sense of hope, and a sense of pride, swinging the momentum in their favor, as we then see with the next fight. So ironically again, despite losing, I think Adam's original purpose for participating within the fight was achieved. And so thank you times 1 million great granddad. Also props to Zeus for being a phenomenal opponent within this fight as well. Like, I had huge respect for Zeus as a character after this fight. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications. That way you don't miss a video or a notification for a video. As always, this has been The Masked Man. Hope everyone has a blessed rest of the day, and peace.